Hello coders, we are going to start with a little puzzle today. Do you like playing puzzles games? Maybe Wordle? Let us play this game together. Think of a number and remember it. Now double the number, add 10, half the number, subtract the original number. I hope you remember the number. Okay, she is ready to guess. How will she know? Really? Yes, I got 5. Did you too? Let us get back to coding. So do you have your Pycharm application closed or open? Have you been exploring and coding since you did your first program to generate the 6-digit OTP? We are going to come back to 6 digits OTP Python file, and we are going to proceed here learning some very, very important concepts. Yes, it will be a good idea to have your notebooks with you. If you want, you can take a pause and quickly grab them. Let's do a quick summary for what we started with. We wanted to generate a 6-digit OTP. There's several ways of doing it, possibly, but what we went for is the easiest one. We used the random module from Python standard library. How did we do that? We used the keyword import to import it, so import random. And then we use its function randrange, randomly generating numbers in a range. And what is the range? Because we wanted the 6-digit, we went for the widest range, that is, 1 with 5 zeros all the way till 6 nines. And because we wanted to see what it is generating, we use the print function to print this. Now what we're going to do with this 6-digit number it is generating randomly, let's quickly test if what we just saw, the math puzzle, which does it really always return in the value 5? And what better way than to test here when we can generate so many numbers? What we will do is first we will list down the steps which we did there because that will make it easier for us to code. So we want to type something on the coding editor in English, just for us, not for the Python interpreter. How do we do that? Do you remember? We did that in Hello World. Yeah, the hash. So we are going to put hash and we are going to start mentioning the steps. Okay, here we go. We have all our steps listed down. Now we will start with this number and double it. Now this number, when we were playing this puzzle right now, I'm sure most of us were just able to memorize it in our heads, or some of us may have just, been lazy fellas and chosen to write it down on paper and then recollected it back. And if we were using paper to even do the math, if somebody decided to use a big number, that's all right, right? But somewhere you had to store it. And then you retrieved it very easily. Either you just read it off or you used your memory to retrieve it. Now here, when we write our code, whether it is something trivial or something big, we have to find ways to store it. However, of course, the way we store it will vary. Small, simple things we can store in one way, then we can store it in different ways, and you will learn that. And then, large data, of course, databases and everything will come in. So there's different ways you have to keep data. Now, in this case, as the simplest data, we just want to store the value returned, the 6-digit number returned here. So instead of printing, what we will do is we will use a holder, which is, it's like, imagine having boxes, 10 boxes with you, and you are just storing different things in them. Now, if you just didn't know which box is what, you won't know where to find what you need. So you will label them in some way. So when we label memory pieces in our computing, we can use something called what is a variable to store and then to access. So what is a variable? It's basically a set of characters which you can use. Even the numbers can go with it. To start with, let's use simple characters. So 6 digits, let's just call it this. So here, when we say 6 digits, this is a variable, okay? And you're going to lifelong use this word. So make sure that slowly you start to understand everything about variable. But for now, we're using 6 digits and we don't need this bracket now because we're not calling function. And how do we assign to this variable? We use the simple equal to math operator, right? So when we say 6 digits equal to this, basically the right hand side will get computed and the result will get stored in this variable 6 digits. Now what we are going to do, we are going to double 6 digits. Now multiplication is used by asterisk. That is a symbol which you will most likely find above the numbers. So you may have to press the star, and if some of you have numpads, then you may also find it there. So we are going to double it. It means we are going to multiply it by 2. Now at each stage, do you want to look at the number? Yeah, let's do that because that's a good thing to do. So how will you do? You will just print this variable, 6 digits. So this is the first thing we have done. Next thing what we're going to do, we are going to add 10 to 6 digits. So similarly, we will say that take 6 digits, add means the plus sign, 10 to it, and the result, we are storing it back into the same variable and we are going to print it similarly. Now we are going to half the number. Now half the number means we are going to divide it by 2. After this, subtract your original number. Oh, gotcha. Now how do we know the original number? Because we already multiplied the original number by 2 and we added 10 and we divided by 2. Oh gosh, we'll have to do all this math back again to remember the original number. Tricky. So what we're going to do is just make another variable. So we will keep something called original digits. Okay, and what do we want original digits to hold? We want it to hold the same value which is in 6 digits. We have made another new variable. So basically we have created another box and kept the same value which was in 6 digits. So that whatever we do with the 6 digits, it's fine. But our original digits stores the same value. It does not change. So we do this right before starting any operation on 6 digits. So now the original, subtract your original numbers. So from where do we subtract? From 6 digits. So we do 6 digits minus original digits and we print it. It would be a good idea that you start running the code as soon as you write 2 lines of code at the beginning. The reason is, you may be not absolutely okay with the syntax. What is a syntax? Did I use the word syntax? Ignore it for now. We have not yet covered it. So what you're writing, you don't know if it is the right way of coding and you may get an error. But yeah, so you can actually execute 2 lines at a time. Yes, it's 5. Let me run it again. So the first number was 948040. Now this time it is this. It is still 5, still 5, still 5. Yes, so that math puzzle, it does really work well. If you're still not as sure, you can change the kind of digits you want to generate here. In fact, I encourage you to explore so that you can look at generating between different ranges. And isn't it simple? Now you can do basic calculations right on your Python editor. So what did we learn here? I think the key thing we learned is how do we store a value and how do we retrieve it? How do we access it? And how do we start to do simple math operations? So of course, you want to now go ahead and explore a lot more math operations that you would like to do. So if you want to look at all the math operators which are supported by Python, what you have to do is you have to go to the documentation and look at the built-in types. And here under the heading numeric types, and these are the different operators which are supported. I would suspect you would recognize all of them. Maybe 2 to 3 you may not, and that's all right. Again, yes, yet again I'm going to iterate the importance of you coding what we did today by yourself. Do not try to copy it line by line. Just look at it, understand, and go back to your editor, try a few things. It's all right that you get errors. It's good that you get errors, because only when you get errors, you will learn to code. If your code is going to just flawlessly execute, there will be no learning.